Hello everyone, so here we are today as promised, the solutions of class 7 annual exam of my school. So if you are class 7 student of any school or even if you are in class 8, just go through these solutions because the questions over here in this paper are to test your fundamental concepts, fundamental mathematical concepts that are going to be helpful to you not just in class 7 but also in class 8 and the classes ahead. So without wasting any more time, let us just start with the solutions. So first question is express 2600 in exponential form. So you begin by finding the prime factors for 2600. So let us start with finding the prime factors. We get 1300 over here. Then we are at 650, then we are at 325, 5, 65, 5 and 13. So what you have over here is 2 into 2 into 2 into 5 into 5 into 13. Now I saw that some of the students, they wrote 2 into 2 into 2 and 5 into 5 into 13 like that. But see, the question here says that you have to express it in exponential form. So exponential form means you have to put in the powers. So your answer should be 2 to the power 3 into 5 to the power 2 into 13. That should be your answer. The final answer should be this, and then only you will get the full marks. So now next, let us move on to express in simple ratio. So when you're expressing, let me use a different color for this so that it's easy for you to understand the sequence of questions. So express in simple ratio, the ratio which is given over here is 1 by 6 is to 1 by 9. So what we do over here is first we get them a common denominator. How do we get a common denominator? So the common denominator for 6 and 9 is their LCM. So we find the LCM. Now this LCM concept is very, very, very important in mathematics whenever you are doing fractions. So please remember to do LCM properly, and it is very important for all of you to know when and where to use LCM. So 6 and 9, their LCM is 18. So if you want me to show how to find the LCM, it is like this. You put 6 and 9, then you find the common factor, that is 2, 3 is 6, then 9, and then 3, 3 ones 3, 3 threes 9. So 2 into 3 is 6, 6 into 3 is 18. So that gives you the LCM as 18. Now we get to convert this fraction into a fraction with denominator 18. So we have to find it this way. So 6, how many times is 18? 6 3 times is 18. So 1 3 times. What we are doing over here is multiplying this by 3. So we need to multiply this by 3 as well. So this becomes 3. Now, how do we convert this into a fraction with denominator 18? So 9, how do we convert 9 into 18? We multiply this by 2. Same thing we will have to do with the numerator as well. To maintain the fraction, whenever we are doing anything with the fraction, whatever is multiplied or divided with either the numerator or the denominator, it has to be done on both the sides. So what we get over here is 2. Now since both the denominators are same, we can disregard them, and this gives us the ratio as 3 is to 2. So this should be your answer. So the answer to the second question should be 3 is to 2. Now let us move on to the third question. Again, let me change the colors so that it is easy for you to understand. 1/3 of a number is 12. Find the number. This is related to linear equations where there is an unknown number. So what we are saying is 1/3 of an unknown number is equal to 12. Now of, as you all know here, we can substitute it with multiplication. So this becomes x by 3 equals to 12, or 1 by 3 into x, we can write it as 1 into x is x and the denominator remains as 3. Now, if you remember the linear equations pattern, whenever you are transposing the numbers or the literals or the variables from one side to another side, the sign changes, it becomes the opposite. So over here it is divided, so when you shift it to this side, this becomes multiplied. So this implies that when it comes over here, it is divided on this side, on the left side. So when it moves to the right side, it becomes x equals to 12 into 3. That makes it 36. So that is one of the basic fundamentals of linear equation. So if it is divided on this side, it will become multiplied when it's moved to this side. If it is multiplied on this side, when it moves to the right side or the other side, it will become divided. If it is plus on this side, it becomes minus on the other side. If it is minus on this side, it becomes plus on the other side. And a lot of students, I find that they lose marks because they are unaware of these, they do not pay sufficient attention to these small, these small pointers, these small tips which are very important for you. Okay, so let us now move on to the fourth question. So for the fourth question, I'll stick to this part. So I'll just erase these questions over here, and you can go ahead and you can watch them by pausing the video or rewinding the video. I'm trying to stick to this area because the questions are all here on this side. So I'll just erase these questions and we will move on to the next part, the next question. Okay, so what does the next question say? The next question says, find two supplementary angles which are in the ratio 11:7. Okay, so let us get on with this. So let us check this out. So the first thing which you need to understand over here is the angles are supplementary, right? So what does it mean? Supplementary angles means that the sum is equal to 180 degrees. Now there are two angles which are in the ratio 11:7. That means one angle is 11x, the other angle is 7x, and we know that their sum is 180 degrees. So together this should be equal to 180 degrees. So this gives us 18x equals to 180 degrees, which will imply x is equal to x is equal to 10, right? How did I arrive at this 10? I arrived at this 10 by doing this. Why did I do this? See, remember I told you in the previous SEM, if something is multiplied on one side and when it moves to the other side, it changes the sign to the opposite one. So it became divided. 180 divided by 18 is 10. So x comes to 10. Now we convert. How do we use? We do not leave the sum as at this point. As I always say, you have to look for what has been asked. So here it has asked two angles you have to find out, right? So first angle is 11x. So what you do is you simply multiply it by 10 and you get 110 degrees. And the other angle is 7x. So you multiply it and you get 70 degrees. So these two will be your angles, the supplementary angles, which are in the ratio 11:7. Okay, so that gives you the solution for question number 4. Now let us move on to question number 5. Let me take this up on this side a little bit so that we can use up this space as well. Okay, so let me take question number 5 over here. So how do we solve 5? It says it's again from linear equations, m by 4 minus 7 equals to 11. Now what we need to do is, we need to move numbers on one side and the variables on the other side. So m by 4, let us do it step by step. We let this part remain on the left side first, and then move this one first. So this is, remember I said if it is -7, it becomes +7. So this is m by 4 is equal to 18. Now again there is another number over here, so we need to move it to this side. And if you remember, I said if it is divided, it becomes multiplied over here. So this becomes 18 into 4, and that becomes 72. So that should be your answer for question number 5. Now let us move on to question number 6. So let me use this little space over here. Question number 6. It says, can a right angle triangle have sides 9 centimeters, 12 centimeters and 15 centimeters, and it has to be a right angle triangle? Is it possible to have a right angle triangle with this? Now remember, they are not angles, they are sides. So I find that many students, if they are not clear on their concept of Pythagoras theorem or right angle triangles, they consider it to be angles and they add it up and they say it is not adding up to 180 degrees, so it is not possible to have it as a right angle. But remember, they are not angles, they are sides. So the principle that you need to use over here, or the property that you need to use over here, is Pythagoras theorem. And do you remember what Pythagoras theorem is? Pythagoras theorem says that the square of hypotenuse is equal to the square of the perpendicular and the square of the base, and if this condition is satisfied, then this is definitely a right angled triangle. So this is what the Pythagoras theorem says. Now how do we identify? Three measurements are given over here. So how do we identify which is the hypotenuse, which is the perpendicular, and which is the base? Now the most important thing is to identify which is the hypotenuse. Whichever you take as perpendicular or base, it does not matter at all, because in a right angle triangle, perpendicular and the base are mutually interchangeable. We can mutually exchange them, so it does not matter. What matters is what is hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse is always the largest side. Now why is it the largest side? It is the largest side because it is opposite to the right angle. Right angle is the largest angle in the triangle because it is 90 degrees, right? No other angle can be 90 degrees or more in a right angle triangle. Other two angles have to be smaller than 90 degrees. So the side opposite to the largest angle is the hypotenuse. It is the largest side. So 15 centimeters will be the hypotenuse. Now let us put it up and see if it fulfills the condition or not. So it should be 15 square is equal to 12 square plus 9 square. So what does it come to? 15 square is equal to 225, 12 square is 144, and 9 square equals to 81. So we find when we add them up, we find that yes, 225 is equal to 225 on both sides. So that is why yes, it is a right angle triangle. It is possible to have a right angle triangle with these measurements. Okay, so now let us move on to the next question very quickly, and let me erase this once again, and then let us take on the next question. So what is the next question? What does the next question say? Just a minute. Oh, I'm sorry, it's zoomed out a bit. Okay. So what does the next question say? Next question says, find out the perimeter of a square which has the sides that measure how much? 11.5 centimeters. Okay, so let us take that up. So This gives you question number, which question number is that? 7. Oh, sorry. This is question number 7. So let us look at question number 7 now. So question number 7 says, sorry, I don't know what language I'm writing. Trying to erase this. Oh, what has happened like this? Yes. So let us take up question number 7. So question number 7 says, find the perimeter of a square with sides measuring 11.5 centimeters. Perimeter of a square, if you do it, is equal to 4 into side. So it's the simplest of all, 4 into 11.5. And what do we get over here is, what do we get? Yes, 46 centimeters. So 11.5 into 2 is 23, into 2 is 46 centimeters. So it is as simple as that. The easiest of all. It is straight up an application of the formula. Arrange the following data in array. Now what does array mean? Array simply means that you arrange the data either in ascending order or in descending order, but I found that many of the students, you put it up in the frequency table. No, you were not asked to arrange it in a frequency table. You were just asked to arrange it in an array. So array simply means that you arrange them in the increasing order. It is generally there. So 2, then 3, then which number is next? Then we have 5, then we have 8 and 8, and then we have 12, and then we have 14 and 14. 13 comes in between. 13 and 14 and 14 and 19. So how many not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What did I miss out? 13, 5, 2, 3. Oh, 17. I missed out on 17. Sorry. So we will have, that's why it is important that you check whether you have added all the numbers or not. So this is as simple as this. So you simply arrange it in this manner and this will give you the full marks. Now let us move on to next question. An isosceles triangle has a vertical angle measuring 55 degrees. Find the measure of its base angle. So this is what an isosceles triangle looks like. So it says the vertical angle measure is 55 degrees. Now you know that the base angles, they are equal in an isosceles triangle, and we know the angle sum property says that angle sum property of a triangle says that it is equal, the sum of angles is equal to 180 degrees. So 2x plus 55 equals to 180 degrees. So this gives us 2x equals to 180 minus 55, and that is equal to 125. Yes, 125 degrees. So you divide it by 2. So as I said, it is multiplied over here. So you get half of this and you get 1262.5 degrees. So that should be the measure of your base angle. Now for the 10th question. I saw a lot of you got confused with this, but I just wanted to check your concept over here in this question. A linear pair is always, so what you were supposed to write over here was supplementary. Or you could have written linear pair is always a straight angle. That is also correct. Whereas vertically opposite angles are always equal. So vertically opposite angles will have equal measure. Some of you wrote vertically opposite angles are always opposite. Of course, they are opposite. That's why they are called as vertically opposite angles. So that was not the correct answer. You have to say they are the same or they are equal. So that is that for the first part, where all these questions they carried 2 marks each. Now let us move on to the second part, where all the questions, they carry 3 marks each. So over here you will see that the questions in section A had straight up formula use, whereas in question the second part you will find that there are questions which you will need to show some working. The ratio between two numbers is 9 and 7. Yes, I know there was a typo over here. It should actually have been 315, but those of you who got the process correct, I have given you marks for that. So it says 9 is to 7 and their LCM is 315. So it should be 9x and 7x. So you find out the LCM of 9x and 7x, and that comes to 63x equals to 315. So x equals to 315 by 63, that is 5. So that gives you the number as 45 and 35. So these would be the numbers over there. So this should have been your answer. Now the other question was express in positive exponents. So how do you express it in positive exponent? Now what is the sum which is given over here? Let us take up the sum. So I find that a few of you committed errors over here. So what is the sum? Sum is 1 by 2 to the power of minus 2 into 3 by 4 to the power of 2. Now what you need to remember over here is when the power is minus, you simply reverse it to get it into the positive power. So 1 by 2 to the power of minus 2 basically means 2 to the power of 2. So this is in the denominator and this has the power of minus 2. So this, when you change it to positive power, this becomes like this. So your solution should be like 2 to the power 2 into 3 to the power 2 by 4 to the power 2. So what you have over here is 2 to the power 2 is 4, of course. So if I just put it this way, 4 into 9 by 4 into 4. So one of the 4 gets cancelled over here and the answer that you should be getting is 9 by 4. Okay, so this should have been your answer. So you need to work on your exponents. Otherwise it is going to be very difficult for you. So even if you put it in the simpler way, if I put it in a simpler way, so it's like 2 into 2 into 3 into 3 by 4 into 4. That is how it should be. So 2 into 2 gone with 1 4 and you're left with 9 by 4, just like this over here. So that should have been your solution. Now let us move on to this question, where the third question, let me zoom it a bit so that you can see where how these angles are identified. So let me just draw a simple figure for you so that you can understand the angles. You can see the angles clearly over here. So this is like there are two parallel lines and make it a little, I'm sorry, let me just try to make it a bit clearer so that it is easy for you to understand. So there are two parallel lines and there are again two parallel lines that are serving as the transversals. So what we have over here is this angle, oh no, sorry, just one, sorry, I'm sorry, I thought there were two parallel lines. Okay. So two parallel lines and a transversal moving across it. So what is mentioned over here is this angle is given 72 degrees and you have to find the unknown angles. Let me mark the unknown angles in a different color. So this is A, this is B and this is C. Now first and foremost, if you know the parallel lines, you would know the 72 degrees and C, they are corresponding angles. So C you can straight up write as 72 degrees and in the reasoning you write corresponding angles. Now for angle A would be, you can see it is linear pair with 72. So angle A would be 180 minus 72. That makes it 108 degrees, because we know the sum of linear pairs is 108 degrees. Sum of linear pair is 180 degrees. Now we see, and for reasoning you can write over here, it is a linear pair. Now for B, you see, it would also be the same as A, because it is vertically opposite to A. Vertically opposite to angle A. They are vertically opposite. Vertically opposite means they share the same vertex and they are located on either side of the vertex. So as I asked you earlier, vertically opposite angles are always equal. So this would be the solution for this over here. Okay, now let us move on to the next question, which says 400 rupees is divided. Let me not go into erasing stuff, and let me just keep moving these other questions so that we can get the answers. So the question over here says rupees 400 is divided between A and B in such a way that B gets 1/4 of A. So how does this work out? So let A get rupees 100. So how many, this implies that B gets how much? 1/4 of A. 1/4 of A. That means B get rupees 25. And now you have to find the ratio between the shares of B and A. That means you have to put B first. 25 by 100. That comes up to 1/4. And this can be expressed as 1:4. So the ratio B is to A would be 1:4. Okay, now let us move on to the next question, and it says the sum of 3 consecutive, let me move this once again, I'm playing ping pong with this. Okay, so let us move on to question number 5 over here. The sum of 3 consecutive natural numbers is 48. Find the numbers. Now, how do we find the consecutive natural numbers? So, consecutive natural numbers are like 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, 12. So, if you look at them, if you express this number as x, this number becomes x plus 1. This number becomes x plus 2. 1, 1 plus 1, 1 plus 2. So, the consecutive natural numbers are always expressed in the form of x, x plus 1 and x plus 2, and if there are more, then it would be x plus 3 and so on. Now it says the sum of these numbers is 48. So, you add them up, all of them up, and it comes to 48. So, what do we have over here? We have 3x plus 3 equals to 48. Now remember, we need to move the 3 to this side. So 3x equals to 48 minus 3. 3x equals to 45. This implies x equals to 45 by 3, and this implies x is equal to 15. Now remember, you do not leave the question over here. What you get is the first number, which is 15. The next number will become 16 and the third number will become 17. So your answer should be 15, 16 and 17, because you are asked to find the numbers. So this is how you find the numbers. Now let us move on to the next question. Question number 6 over here, and question number 6 says find the complement and supplement of 53 degrees, 27 minutes, 34 seconds. So complement, you know, the sum of complementary angles is 90 degrees. So when we are finding the complementary angles, we have to look at 90 degrees, and when you are finding supplementary angles, we have to look at 180 degrees. So how do we split this complementary angle. We split this complementary angle into 89 degrees, 59 minutes and 60 seconds. And we split this supplementary angle into 179 degrees, 59 minutes and 60 seconds. Now why do we do that? Because 60 seconds is equal to 1 minute. 1 minute it will add on to this and it will become 60 minutes. The 60 minutes is equal to 1 degree. So this will add on to this and it becomes 180 degrees. So we split it up like this. Just like we can split 1 minute into 1 hour into 59 minutes and 60 seconds, right? The same process we are following over here. And all you need to do is you need to simply subtract this from these. So you just put them underneath and you get the answer. So your answer would be, what should be your answer? 26 minutes. Over here you got 32 and 26 degrees. Over here it remains the same, 32 minutes and 126 degrees. So that should be your answer for question number 6 given over here. Now let us move on to this next set of questions, and let me just move it a bit down so that there is enough space for us to solve these questions. Let me shift this a little bit. Okay, so now look at this question, and I would like to explain this over here itself. So you see, in the given figure, PQ equals to PS. PQ, this is equal to this, right? Find the value of X. Now see over here. These two sides are same. That means this is an isosceles triangle. So this means this angle and this angle will be the same. So how do we find out these angles? We see the linear pair over here. So if this is 110 degrees, this becomes 70 degrees, and this also becomes 70 degrees. So 70 and 70, 140. So how do we calculate this angle? Of course, we divide it from 180 degrees. That is the angle sum property, and we get 40 degrees over here. Now, if you look at this triangle PQR, you just see this angle PQR, and you can see the internal angle over here is 70 degrees. This angle is 25 degrees. Sorry, this angle is 25 degrees. So together, what should this angle be? 70 plus 120, 70 plus 25 makes it 95. So this should come to 85 degrees, right? The measure of this angle should come to 85 degrees. But here we already have half of it, which is 40 degrees. So that means X should be equal to 85 minus 40, that is equal to 45 degrees. That is how you calculate this question number 7. Okay, now let us move on to question number 8, and let me zoom it out a bit so that we find more space. Alright, let us move on to question number 8 now. Question number 8 says, if the circumference of the circle is 176 centimeters, find its diameter. Circumference is 176 centimeters. Now you know what is the formula for circumference. Circumference is 2 pi r, or if you are smart enough, you would know that circumference is also equal to d pi. So all you need to do is 176 is equal to, we know the value of pi, 22 by 7 d, right? So we are taking this 22 by 7, it is multiplied over here, so it will be divided to this side. So d will be equal to 176 divided by 22 by 7, and that implies 176 into 7 by 22. Now 22 8s 176, so you can get straight up the answer as 56 centimeters. So that should be your answer for question number 8. Now let us move on to question number 9 over here. Now question number 9 talks about proportion. So when we are talking about proportion, let me move this down further. Okay, so we are talking about proportion over here. So when we are talking about continued proportion, now what does this continued proportion mean? So let us take up question number 9 over here. What does continued proportion mean? Continued proportion means 24 is to 36 is proportional to 36 is to x. So if you remember, the product of means is equal to the product of extremes. This means 36 into 36 should be equal to 24 into x. Now we are moving the numbers to one side. It is multiplied over here, so it becomes divided on this side, and you don't even need to go into complicated calculations. You know the tables of 12. So 12 3 is 36, 12 2 is 24, and here you can find out 2 18s 36, so 18 3 is equal to 54. So the number, the required number is 54 over here. Now let us move on to question number 10. What does question number 10 say? Question number 10 says, if a is equal to minus 1, and I saw that many of you did not copy it correctly and you copied it as 1. So please, if you copy the sum incorrectly, your answer automatically becomes incorrect. Find the value of a cube plus b cube. You have to find the value of a cube plus b cube. Now a cube means minus 1 whole cube plus b cube means 2 cube. Now minus 1 whole cube, see there is minus sign inside and the power is odd. So this with the sign will remain minus. And of course 1 does not matter how many powers it has, the value always remains 1. So this becomes minus 1 plus 8, 2 to the power 3 is 8. Minus 1 plus 8. Remember when we were talking about integers, we said if the signs are different, the operation is subtraction, right? So you subtract and you get the answer as 7. Now about the sign, the bada bhai, as I said always, bada bhai is 8, so you get to keep the sign of 8. So this will be plus 7 or plus, even if you do not mention it, it's perfectly okay. So that should be your answer over here. Now let us move on to the third set of questions, and over here again we come to exponents and powers. So let us see how do we evaluate this. So it says evaluate, just bring it a little bit down so that we can keep on doing these sums and take them further down. Okay. Alright. So evaluate. Now let us copy the question first. 2 to the power minus 3 into 5 to the power 2 divided by 21 to the power of 0 plus 3 cube into 2 square. That was the question. Now 2 to the power of minus 3, remember students, 2 to the power of minus 3 does not mean minus 8. It means 1 by 2 to the power of 3. This is a numerator, so if you change it into positive, it comes to denominator and it remains 5 square divided by, now anything to the power of 0 is 1 plus 3 to the power 3 is what? 27 into 4. Now they remain over here. Now this is divided by 1, has no meaning as such. So what we have over here is this equation, or this question turns out to be 25 by 8 plus 27 fours 120. 8. So all you needed to do was solve this. Some of you added all this up and then divided it. No. You do not add. Follow the BODMAS rule always. Brackets of division first, then multiply. This is in brackets, so solve the brackets first and do not add it all up. So brackets, you solve it first. Division, you're already done with the division, and then you find out. Again, you come up with the LCM. You have to look for the LCM over here. So the operation, I find many of the students, they keep on getting confused with the operations of fractions, which is a weak point with them. So please take care that you know how to find the LCM. So LCM over here is 8. Now here it is already 8, so we will put this up as 25. And this is 1, so this needs to be converted into 8. So to convert it into 8, we will multiply it with 8, and over here also 8. So we get 864 over here. So what you get over here is 889 by 8, and that would be a solution. And if you're turning it into an improper fraction or a mixed, this is an improper fraction, you can change it into a mixed fraction. So this comes to 111 1 by 8. That should be your solution. That is what you are supposed to do. Okay, now let us move on to the next question, which is related to statistics. Right? Let us take them down further to make more space for ourselves. And yes, let us take this question up first. So what we have over here now. A student scored these marks in 7 subjects. Find their mean, median and mode. Now, first let us arrange them in an array. This is very important. 6, 7, 10, 11, 12 and 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, I missed out on 1. 6, 7, 10. Oh, 12 is twice. Okay. So let me just put up 12 as twice and then 14. So when you arrange it in an array, you can find the median very easily. First, mode, let us say. Mode is the easiest to check out because it is the one which is being repeated the most. So mode is this one. Now let us look for the median. Now how do we find the median? How many numbers of data are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So 7 data are there. So how do you find 7 is, if it is odd number, what you do is n plus 1 by 2. So 7 plus 1 by 2, that makes it 8 by 2, that makes it. Fourth data will be the median. So 1, 2, 3, fourth data will be the median. So median is 11. Now, if you do not arrange this in an array, you will get the answer wrong, because if you put it up like this, then your fourth data becomes 12 and you are writing 12 as the median, which is incorrect. So you have to put it up in an array first, where you put it in an increasing order generally, or it can be decreasing as well. So now let us calculate the mean. Mean is simply you add all of them up, 6 plus 7 plus 10 plus 11 plus 12 plus 12 plus 14. So for the mean, add all of them up, it comes to 72. You divide it by 7 and you get 10 by 7, or you can get it into points, decimals. You can change it into decimal. It will come to something like 10.285 something. So this will be your mean. Okay. So that is how you find the mean. Now let us move on to the next question, which is again related to linear equations. Alright, a sum of 500 rupees is in the form of denominations of rupees 5 and rupees 10. So question number 3 over here. So let me push this a little bit down. so that we are able to find more space. Okay, so total value is equal to rupees 500, right? The denominations, if you remember, I taught you about this. So the denominations are in the form of rupees 5 and rupees 10, right? The total number of the notes is 90. It is given over here. So if it means that 5 rupee notes are x in number, 10 rupee notes will be 90 minus x, because together they will be 90. So now let us find the value of this. So the value of 5 rupee notes will be 5 into x, plus the value of 10 rupee notes will be 10 into 90 minus x. Now how am I talking about the value over here? Suppose you have 2 5 rupee notes, right? So what will be the total value? It will be 5 into 2, that is 10 rupees, right? So that is how we are finding out the value. Total value will be this much. So what do you get over here? 5x plus 900 minus 10x equals to 500. So you have minus 5x equals to 500 minus 900 over here as the sum. So if you are taking this up, this comes to minus 5x equals to minus 400. This implies x equals to 80. Now you cancel out both of these because both of them have negative sign on both sides, so they can be cancelled out. So this gives you x as 80 rupees. So the number of 5 rupee notes is 80 and the number of 10 rupee notes will be obviously 10, because total there are 90 notes in all. So that gives you the solution for the third question. Now let us move on to the fourth question over the fourth part over here. Find the perimeter of a rectangle whose length is 24 centimeters and the diagonal is 26 centimeters. Now what you need to remember over here is we are talking about a rectangle over here with these dimensions. This is 24 centimeters and this is 26 centimeters. So now again, if you look carefully, you come up at a right angled triangle. You're looking at a right angled triangle. So we do not know about this side. We have to find the perimeter, but we do not know about this side. So if you remember and if your concepts are clear, you will immediately be reminded of Pythagoras Theorem, right? So in Pythagoras Theorem, this becomes the hypotenuse. So this is like 26 square equals to 24 square plus x square, right? So if you're finding out x square, it becomes 26 square is 676 minus 576. You move it to this side and this will be 100. This will be 100. So x equals to root 100, that means 10. Okay. So when we are talking about this side, so what we find is that you can find, just a minute, sorry. So what you find over here is that square root of 100 is 10. So this gives you this side as 10 centimeters. Now it is easy for you to find the perimeter of the rectangle because now you have the length and the breadth, and we know the formula for perimeter is twice length plus breadth, that is equal to twice 24 plus 10, that makes it 68 centimeters. So that should be your answer for question number 1. Now let us talk about question number 2 over here. So I'll explain it in this part only. So what you have over here is angle A is given as 50 degrees. Angle A is given as 50 degrees. Angle B is given as 70 degrees, and this is the bisector. C is the bisector. The CD is the bisector over here. So if this is 50, this is 70, together they are 120. So this becomes, angle C becomes what? 60 degrees. So that means each of these angles, what do they become? They become 30 degrees each. 60 degrees divided by 2, it becomes 30 degrees, right? So now you look at this triangle ADC. So here you have 50 degrees, here you have 30 degrees, and this angle ADC, what should it be equal to? 180 minus 50 plus 30. So 180 minus 80, it gives you 100 degrees. So this, the measure of this angle should be 100 degrees. That is how it is supposed to be solved. Now let us move on to this question. Solve 2x minus 4 by 3 minus x plus 4 equals to x by 3. This is what you are supposed to solve over here. So what we do over here is we bring, we change this. What you can do is you can bring this to this side, the 3 denominators to this side. I think that would be the easiest to do. So by 3 minus x by 3. Remember, this is plus over here, so this becomes minus. And when this is moving to this side, this becomes plus, equals to x plus 4. So what does it imply over here? Over here, the LCM is 3. This remains 2x minus 4, and this remains minus x equals to x plus 4. So we take this 3 to this side and make it, from the fractions, we bring them into a proper line. So how does this work out now? How does this move? This moves like 2x minus 4 minus x equals to, now 3 gets multiplied with this entire thing. So this becomes 3x plus 12, because this 3 will be multiplied by x and this 3 will be multiplied by 4 as well. So what do you have over here? X minus 4 equals to 3x plus 12. Now we bring the x to one side and the numbers to another side. So how do we do that? X minus 3x equals to 12 plus 4. So this becomes minus 2x equals to 16. So x equals to 16 by minus 2, and that gives you the answer as minus 8. So this should be your answer, where it comes to minus 8. Okay. Now let us solve this question over here. There is space over here, so I'll just shift it to this side and use this part to solve the questions. Okay. Now let us take this up. Use a different color. So over here, okay. If A is to B equals to 4 is to 5, B is to C equals to 3 is to 4, then find A is to C. It's as simple as it gets. A by B into B by C equals to A by C, right? Because B and B gets cancelled over here. B is in the numerator, B is in the denominator, you can cancel it out. So 4 by 5 into 3 by 4. So 4 and 4, they get cancelled over here, and you are left with 3 by 5. So straight up this says A is to C equals to 3 is to 5. As simple as that. So this is how you solve this. Okay. Now let us move on to the next question, which is 30% of an angle is the complement of 46 degrees. Find that angle. Okay, so 30, let me take a different color over here. 30% of an angle is the complement of 46 degrees. What it will be? It will be 44 degrees. What is complement of 46 degrees? 44 degrees. And how did I arrive at that? 90 minus 46 equals to 44. This is how we arrive, because complementary angles, they measure 90 degrees, right? So over here is 3 by 10x equals to 44. So you can go at as 3x equals to 440, x equals to 440 by 3. You can leave it at that because it will be in decimals. So you can leave it at the angle is 440 by 3 degrees. So that is how we find the angle. Now let us come to the very last question, which was a very simple one, but a little bit tricky. Tricky in the sense that you had to know whether what is the formula that you're supposed to be using over it. Now, a hedge boundary needs to be planted in a rectangular garden of sides 12 meter by 8 meter. Here length is given as 12 meters, breadth is given as 8 meters. Now, what some of you did was you went into area. No, if this is a rectangular field, we are not planting the boundary here. This is what amounts for area. This is the area. When we are talking about a boundary, we are talking about the perimeter. So it is this that you are supposed to find out. The boundary is the perimeter. So you know the formula for perimeter is twice length plus breadth. That makes it twice. 12 plus 8. This is equal to 40 meters, right? And the cost of fencing is 15 rupees per meter. So simply multiply it. 40 into 15 equals to rupees 600. So this was a question for 4 marks, but it required you to use up only your concept and your understanding of the question, whether you have understood the question correctly or not. So I hope that you were able to clarify the concepts and know as to what all you should have done as far as your solutions are concerned. So thank you so much, and please watch it again and again and again if any of the sums have the concepts that are not clear to you. Thank you so much.